Welcome back to This Week in Hockey East. Well, UVM gets to host their annual Pack the Gut game on Saturday evening against Northeastern, and we're joined by UVM women's head coach Jim Plumer. Our interview is presented by Boston Harbor Hotel. Plan your getaway today at bostonharborhotel.com and experience Boston's best waterfront views. Jim, thank you for joining us today. Want to start out with something that I noticed 2 weeks ago when you were in Boston playing Boston University, and what we've been tracking, just a really strong month of January for your line of Stella Retram, Lauren O'Hara, and Kaylee Lewis, all juniors making a huge impact for you guys recently.
Yeah, really happy with the way that line has come together. There's two transfers on that line, and I think we had an idea that we wanted Stella and Lauren to play together because they had a little bit of a history of some summer hockey and some hockey growing up together in Minnesota. And it took the better part of the first semester. They had some bright spots, but since we've come back from the new year, they've really been. They've been really magic out there. You got really three hard-working players with skill, and they're really enjoying playing together. And it's been fun to watch them succeed.
Can you talk a little bit more about Stella Retram as well? She ends up getting named the Hockey East Player of the Month just for the production that she's had. Can you just tell us what's impressive about her and maybe her progress this season?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted her here because we thought she could score goals. She had some proven success at Penn State. In fact, she scored more goals than anyone on our team had last year. So we were hopeful that was going to translate here. I think the pleasant surprise for her, and this doesn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, is her defensive game is really strong. Like, she's become a key penalty killer for us, and she did have a shorthanded point the other day. So I guess that does show up on the score sheet occasionally, but plays hard both ways. Really has impressed me with her 200-foot game, and she has a nose for the net. And Bridgette, I know you did those two games at BU a couple of weeks ago. Like the second game, the game winner, just kind of a loose puck thrown towards the net that she anticipates and is able to catch the goalie unaware. Like, I think those are things that are hard to teach someone. We spend a lot of time with skills and working on finishing, and then there's people who just see plays develop, and she does have the skill to be able to finish in the more classic way, but also some grindy goals around the net that you need. It's hard to score goals at this level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Coach, let's talk about Josie Hemp a little bit. Speaking of another transfer coming in from Minnesota, probably one of the more underrated defenders in the league. What kind of influence has she had on the group this year?
Yeah, she definitely is. And, we started to see it last year, right when she got here. She played on our top pairing, and it really kind of, at the end of the season, had really risen in most of the categories that we value. The interesting thing was she just didn't get on the score sheet that much last year. And so she's really kind of sneaky in that she's physical and she's really good defensively. And now we've seen it in practice for 2 years. I was kind of hoping that she'd be able to start putting some pucks in the net, and I think she's got 5 goals for us this year, including a big one that tied the game late on Saturday against Providence. So, power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5. She's seeing the most minutes of any of our defensemen, and probably, like I said, maybe the underrated part of her game is defensive. She's very, very hard to beat one-on-one.
And Julia Mesplède, for you guys going to the Olympics to play for her home country of France. First of all, I know that she had a flight out during that storm. Did she make it out on time?
Yeah, she did. The funny thing about that whole weekend was that she and the Welkies were both supposed to fly out on that Sunday night, and with the big storm coming, all three of them moved their flight to 8:40 on Saturday night. They were all on the same flight that was going through Munich, and we gave Julia the option to play a couple periods and then head off to the airport. Our game was at 4, and she did that. The Welkies didn't play. I'm sure that was to our advantage.
Yeah, and so she's a top 6 player for you. How long will you be without her, and what will the group miss about her during those games?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how far they go. Obviously, they're an underdog there. So if they don't make the quarterfinals, we could see her back late next week. Um, I don't think we play at Maine on Friday of next week. She certainly wouldn't be back for that, but I think it's conceivable that she could be back in Burlington by then, and maybe have a couple days to get ready. We play on Sunday, the following weekend. She's I think the bittersweet thing about her getting this Olympic opportunity, which is obviously phenomenal for her, is this is by far the best year she's had for us. She's got 9 goals. She's a dynamic playmaker, something that quite honestly I expected right from the get-go, and for a variety of reasons, including a torn ACL her freshman year that impacted half of that season and probably most of the next season. It took her a while to sort of get comfortable enough and develop and have the confidence to be able to play at this level. But I think the thing that we miss the most is she's a dynamic playmaker down low. She's slippery, hard to get her pinned low in the offensive zone, and she's got good chemistry with Rosie Brochu and Ona Havana, which we saw at the end of last season, and they've kept it going. So. Listen, it's incredible opportunity for her to get to play in the Olympics, but we sure are missing her right now.
Coach, before we let you go, we want to talk a little bit about this Saturday and the annual Pack the Gut. I'm sure many folks know about it. Maybe for the folks who don't, can you tell us a little bit about the tradition of it, what you guys are trying to accomplish in terms of the record, and just how it's become really an important part of your team and your program?
Yeah, it is. It started in the fall of 2013 was our first time. We had a rising senior who had the idea in the summer of before her senior year, before the 2013-14 season, and she originally conceived it as a way to get fans here, but also to as a fundraiser for Meals on Wheels, which was something that she had experience with. And so it started out in that dual capacity. And I think that first year we may have set the Hockey East attendance record. And we've set it a number of times during this event. I know that I think there's some teams, Northeastern at their last game at Matthews had like 3,000 fans or more. So I know it might not be even available for us to break, but we had over 2,000 that first game, and we've had a number of times that we've broken it. With our high right now is 27:05, but her real idea was, at those times, like our men's team was selling out every game. There was waiting lists for season tickets for the men's hockey, and I think all of sort of in-person sports is down a little bit nowadays, but just for our players to feel the energy of the crowd and to have that experience in playing in front of a big crowd. We've been able to get big crowds to some of our playoff games over the years, and we even had a classroom game earlier this year that happened at 11 in the morning where we had, I think, 1,400 school kids screaming, and even that, the energy in the building, it definitely feeds our players. So we're hoping that with our good run that we had prior to last weekend, that we've built some awareness in the community. This community really supports UVM athletics. We don't have pro sports here in Burlington. I think with some of the things that have happened in the last few years, like our men's soccer team winning the national championship and now selling out every home game, it's pretty fun for that to come to women's hockey as well.
Well, we hope you enjoy that. Good luck with the Pack the Gut event. Thank you to UVM head coach Jim Plumer. When we come back, we'll go around the men's side of Hockey East coming up next.